Hi there, my name is Cody Kingsrod. Yes, you can see the flower. So, a video request that I get so much, more than anything, is please make a video on how to know if you're trans. I actually did do one back in like 2015 or 16, and you can watch that video if you want. I've considered taking it down because I'm just not happy with how I did it. And my voice is also like this, is really high pitched, and I don't look like myself. I don't know. So I did do one, but I've never redone it. I feel like there are things that I could have said on the topic, but I've never really made a video talking about it, for the reason that every time I've thought about making a video like that, I'm like, people will figure it out eventually, and I just think like that because it's such an exhausting topic. Like, figuring out your gender and stuff is such an exhausting process. Like, whether you figure out that you are trans or you change your mind and you figure out, hey, I'm just a tomboy, or I just don't conform to gender roles, because not conforming to gender roles and being transgender is not the same thing. And it's just such a stressful topic, and I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't need to think about that anymore, so I don't want to think about it. But I did just now want to say a few words that maybe could help someone. So online, when you watch trans YouTubers or people who make trans related content, people, and I'm sure I come off the same way, always seem so sure about themselves. Like, they seem so sure in who they are. It seems like they're so certain in what they're doing. It's like, dun dun dun, I just changed my name. I'm starting testosterone. I just got top surgery, or I'm getting top surgery. Like, it's so kind of like, there's no worries there whatsoever. Everyone just reveals stuff like, hey, now I'm doing this, and they seem so certain. But let me tell you, based on experience, I'm not saying that these people are like bad people or anything for doing this, but I just want to tell you, people online share with you what they want to share, and yes, some people are like that. Some people, they have known that they were trans since they were 3 years old. As soon as they hear the definition of a transgender, they're like, yep, that's what I am. That's also mostly what you hear about, but I want to tell you, it is not like that for most people. Oh, I don't know most people, I haven't like seen any statistics or anything, but like, I think most trans people can relate to the feeling of like always feeling like something was wrong growing up, but most people don't really know what that is until they're a bit older. Like, around puberty, I feel, is when people start to find out, because their body starts changing. Boys and girls are kind of split a bit more and separated into two different categories a bit more clearly. And that's when people may be like, I kind of feel off. I don't feel comfortable where I am right now. But I feel like a lot of people are scared of talking about that kind of uncertainty, or being honest about how they maybe weren't completely sure from day one, because people will so easily come and say, oh, that means that you're not trans, you're not actually trans, transitioning will be a mistake for you. You can have those thoughts yourself sometimes, so it sucks hearing it from someone else. It's like, oh, what if they're right? Like, what if that is true? Especially in early transition stages, you still question yourself so much. I can tell you based on experience, through the years, I have questioned myself so much. And again, I'm not saying that this is it for everyone, because there surely are people out there who, again, knew from day one, didn't question it. They had an aha moment when they heard the term transgender. But I first heard about what trans is when I was 11. I watched this show on TV, this Norwegian show called Feil Kropp, or Born in the Wrong Body. And I was so fascinated by trans people, but I never thought that that would be me. Especially around 12, 13, 11-ish, I was very, very girly. I was very insecure, I was very unconfident. I thought that the more pretty I tried to make myself, by wearing dresses, by wearing makeup, stuff like that, then I would finally love myself and feel confident, because I was just so insecure and I just wanted to fit in desperately. Like, even going through female puberty, I I wanted to in the start because I saw all these other girls in my class and I always felt weird, I always felt different, I always felt like kind of the underdog, the outcast, so I just wanted to be like them, and I liked boys as well, so I wanted to be like accepted by the boys too. But I'm not gonna lie, like even like makeup and stuff, I still like that. Like, I never wear makeup unless I'm doing a skit or something, but I think it's fun. I don't, like, walk out wearing women's clothes, but if I was cis, I'd probably be a bit more flamboyant. and confident. Cis and confident. So I haven't always been, like, a very masculine person. Then I started questioning my gender when I was 13. My mind was just messed up. Like, I was very mentally unhealthy. I was very suicidal, and I wanted to cut my hair short, and when I did, I just felt so much better about myself. I started to dress more masculine. I figured out that I was bi, which I don't identify as anymore, I think. But I thought I was bi, and then I looked more into the trans community, into the LGBTQ plus community. I looked more into that when I thought I was bi. And when I read about being trans, it kind of explained my feelings, how I felt when my hair was shorter and I dressed like a boy and presented that way. I felt so much better about myself. In the beginning, I was scared that like I wasn't actually trans. I was struggling with an eating disorder. I was struggling with suicidal thoughts. I hated myself. I didn't want to be me. I have thought like maybe I'm not actually trans. Maybe I just wanted to escape who I was, and maybe my mental illness messed me up and makes me think that I'm trans. And I've watched a lot of detransitioning videos, and a lot of them say that they struggle with eating disorders, which made them hate their body, which made them think that they had dysphoria, and then they later realized, whoops, this isn't me, and then they went back. And I was so scared that that was me. When I like cut my hair and stuff and found the trans community, in the beginning I identified as non-binary, because I knew I could relate to a lot of the things that trans people were explaining, but I couldn't look at myself like a boy, because boys had always been like a different category than me, right? And I saw guys, this is going to sound really bad, I saw guys as these kind of big, very masculine, sweaty humans in gym clothes for some reason. I just always thought of guys like that, I don't know why, but that's just kind of the stereotype that I saw in my head, and I was like, I'm not like that, I'm not that type of person, so obviously I'm not a guy. So at first I identified as gender fluid. I was very into Tumblr, and that's kind of what I used for education. So I identified as gender fluid, then I noticed that I always went to the masculine side, and I realized that like just because I wear girls' clothes one day and boys' clothes the next day doesn't mean that my gender is changing. I don't mean to invalidate people who identify as gender fluid here, but I can't speak for you, but that's just, I can only speak for myself and my experience, like when I identified as that, and obviously I'm not actually gender fluid because I changed my identity, but I just thought I was gender fluid because I kept changing my clothes. Because some days I wanted to wear this, and another day I wanted to wear this. And I was also very insecure about myself, so I kind of went like back and forth. But then I realized, like, hey, I'm always on the masculine side, and that's where I feel most comfortable. Then I identified as bi-gender, and then agender, genderqueer, and then I just didn't know what it was. I was like, I have no idea what the heck my gender is. I identified as demi-boy for quite a long time, because again, I felt like I didn't fit the stereotype of guys. I didn't feel like a regular guy. But then, what I've later come to realize, though, as I've progressed and gone through or lived as this for a few years, which is the point I wanted to make in this video regarding like how to know if you're trans. Also, I just want to quickly mention, just because I went from identifying as like non-binary to FDM doesn't mean that all like non-binary people will after a bit identify as FDM. Like, I don't want to invalidate anyone here, that's just my experience. Yeah, I've just kind of realized that all guys are different. And that was kind of my biggest thing, like, I'm kind of feminine. I've gotten DMs from people who are like, hi, I like riding horses. Or I like to dance ballet, or I like to paint my nails, but I think I'm trans, but I do this, and this, which is stereotypically feminine. Does this mean that I'm not actually trans? Or am I just a confused girl? Or whatever. And it's like, geez, have you never seen a flamboyant guy? Like, people, men, all genders. There's so many variations of cisgender guys. So obviously there will be so many variations of trans guys. That makes sense. Not all trans guys want to be super manly men. Some do, and that's completely okay. As long as there's not, like, toxic masculinity in there. But toxic masculinity is bad in general, and it's not good. But if you want to be a super masculine trans guy, be that. And if that's who you are, be that. Because that's also a thing I see in the trans community, especially in the younger generations. Like, ooh, flower, soft, spacey boy. That's, like, praised. And it's like, oh my god, you're so cute. Like, cute little bean, small bean. And then the guys who are straight, who are very masculine, they're kind of not really welcomed all that much, which sucks because they've been through the exact same thing. But yeah, what I come to realize is that being me is completely okay. And I was just overthinking my gender so much, and I think that's what a lot of people do. I would wake up in the morning and ask myself, first thought in the morning, right as I woke up, I hadn't even opened my eyes, do I feel like a boy today? Because you see all these people online saying, oh, I feel like a boy, that's how I knew. Do you think a biological male wakes up in the morning and they're like, I feel like such a man today. Like every day. I wasn't planning to do this part of the video, but I'm editing right now and thought it could be funny. It's so stupid. No, they just live their life. That's just they just live their life, and they don't really think about it that much. I overthought everything. I was like, doing this isn't really manly of me. It's not a really masculine thing to do. Well, I don't feel like a man right now. What does even feeling like a man or a boy or a guy or whatever feel like? Feeling masculine and doing something masculine doesn't make you a guy. And doing something feminine doesn't make you a girl. Although you feel like feminine or feel masculine, that doesn't change your actual gender. And I didn't feel anything. That's why I thought I was agender, because I was just, I don't feel like a boy, I don't feel like a girl, I just feel like me. But that's because gender is not a feeling in that sense. Obviously you can feel, does this feel right for me? Like being addressed like this, does that feel right? But inherently, like in itself, it's not a feeling. Like I can right now I can feel my feet, I can feel my arms, I can feel my tongue. My gender is not something I can feel, because that's just who I am. It's just how I feel comfortable living my life, and now I know that. So how do you know that you're trans? Try it. Live your life. I'm editing this right now, and I realize that this part might be kind of confusing, because it's a bit vague to be like, oh, just live your life and you'll find out. So I'm just going to further explain how I feel. So what I mean by that is, how I know that I'm a boy is I used to be so unconfident as a girl, and as I've kind of progressed and explored more, I've just realised that I feel so much more comfortable and happy living as a boy. And I'm not talking about it in like the privilege sense, I don't mean it like that, I'm talking about it in the dysphoria sense, that I just feel so much more comfortable and happy and like myself now, which basically means that I had dysphoria, which at the time I wasn't aware of that being dysphoria, but now I've kind of addressed that dysphoria in a sense. I've gotten rid of it by transitioning socially, and I'm like, aha, it was dysphoria that I felt because I never felt comfortable, but now I know I didn't always feel the same way. And I feel like this is important to address because in the beginning I didn't feel comfortable with he, him pronouns. Right now, he, him are the only pronouns that I feel comfortable with. But in the beginning, I was only comfortable with they, them. And whenever I was called he, him, it gave me anxiety. First of all, it didn't really feel right in the beginning because I was like, I can't be a boy, right? So that's not correct. But it also gave me so much anxiety when I was out in public because I was scared that someone was going to react. As well as it was hard for me to start calling myself those pronouns. And because that took such a long time for me to get used to, and I kind of had to force myself to think that way and be like, oh no, wait, no, that's not right. Like, it's he, him, it's Cody, it's not that. I thought that I wasn't actually trans because I was like, oh, if I was actually a boy, like this would just happen automatically. But of course, like obviously there's a difference there because your whole life you've just kind of learned that that's who you are and that's how you live your life. So it takes a while to get used to using different words. I just wanted to add that. And it's completely normal to be worried. It's completely normal to be scared to come out. It's completely normal to be scared and worried about the changes of testosterone. Even though you're very excited to get rid of that dysphoria, it's your body and you don't know what's going to happen to it. Of course you can know like, oh, this and this is going to happen. I'll get a deeper voice, more hair growth, stuff like that. But you don't know exactly what will happen. You don't know what the outcome will be. Surgery, you don't know what the outcome will be. And it's a part of you that you're getting chopped off or added. If you choose to get bottom surgery. And it's scary. And that's normal. I'm not saying that if you're so scared that like you're repulsed by it and you like then obviously there's something wrong. And I suggest that everyone talks to a gender therapist. Like being trans and transitioning isn't something to just jump into, but at the same time it's not a life or death situation. If you start hormones, then you decide you don't want to be on hormones anymore, that kind of sucks. But then you've experienced that, and then at least you know that that's not who you are. There are things you can do to go back, but at the same time, take it seriously, talk to professionals, and live your life, and see how you feel. So in conclusion, if you experience dysphoria, and you really think you might be trans, but you have a few feminine things that make you feel uncertain, then you're probably just overthinking it. Also, I was scared that, like, I used to watch a lot of trans videos online and stuff, and I was scared that those videos were making me think that I was trans. So what I would suggest is go a few days without watching any of those types of videos and see how you feel. It's such a hard, like, I don't know, when I was questioning my gender in the beginning as well, I wanted to know so bad, because I felt so bad. I didn't even know what my name was, or what gender I was, which I felt like was the most basic things about being a person, and I didn't even know that. And I wanted to know so desperately, and I wanted to know now, so I read about all these different labels online, and I thought so hard that my brain hurt, and I just wanted to know. But it takes time to get to know yourself, and it takes time to discover who you are. So in the meantime, just try things out and try to enjoy yourself and enjoy your time here on Earth. Getting very deep, but yeah. Also, I didn't even know if I wanted to start testosterone right away. I've kind of always known I wanted to have top surgery, or at least like when I knew that I was trans, and I knew that I had dysphoria, I've always wanted top surgery. But I was honestly really scared about testosterone, because I was scared it would turn me into like a super manly man, which is just not the kind of guy that I am. And what I said earlier in this video about not looking like myself in that How to Know You're Trans video that I made years ago, it was because I tried so hard to look so masculine, and I would wear like snapbacks and very masculine stuff because I just wanted to pass as male, like that's all I wanted. But now I don't really feel like I have to worry about that anymore, so now I feel like I can just breathe out and be me. I don't know, I just hope you found this somewhat helpful. Please let me know your thoughts down below. If you disagree with anything I said in this video, please let me know. Again, some people know from day one, but some people don't, and that's completely okay. Stay safe, and eat, drink, and do not hurt yourselves, and remember that you are so much more than you can ever realize. Seriously. Goodbye, thank you for watching, have a great day. Bye!